At OPTAVIA, our mission is to offer the world lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. The following audio contains the personal testimonials of independent coaches and clients within the OPTAVIA community. Their results are based on the unique experiences of their journey. We cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. We hope these stories inspire you to continue your journey with or join OPTAVIA, but please note they have not been verified and your individual journey to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you speak with a healthcare provider in the U.S. or a doctor in Singapore and Hong Kong prior to beginning your journey with OPTAVIA. Additionally, this audio may contain income or earning representations of some independent OPTAVIA coaches. We cannot guarantee financial success. Success with OPTAVIA is derived from successful sales efforts, which required hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. OPTAVIA acknowledges that this audio may be accessible to OPTAVIA coaches in the U.S., Hong Kong, and Singapore. For independent OPTAVIA coaches operating in the U.S., please see the OPTAVIA Income Disclosure Statement for statistics on actual earnings of U.S. coaches under the U.S. Compensation Plan. Please note that the Income Disclosure Statement only applies to independent OPTAVIA coaches operating in the U.S. under the U.S. Compensation Plan and does not in any way constitute any representations as to actual or potential accrual of benefits for Hong Kong or Singapore coaches under the International Compensation Plan. Yours in Health, the OPTAVIA team.
My name is Daniel Giles. This is my beautiful wife.
I'm Deborah Giles.
Yes, and we've been married. We are married.
We are. Did
yes,
you know that?
We are married. We have 3 children, and hopefully you guys will be impressed that they will not interrupt us tonight, nor the dog. So
yes, the dog barking is a big one. So
we should be okay. We have some amazing guests tonight, and we want to get to them soon, but we have 3 couples who are going to come to you from across America, and they are going to share some amazing transformation. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick here.
But we want to welcome you. We're so glad you're here. Whoever invited you tonight, you are welcome. And thank you for sending those invites out to get the word out about tonight. It's going to be incredible. It is a health and hope night that we're doing. And we are spending time together. This is community time. This is a time to gather and share our stories and share our life together. You're going to hear a lot about tonight the success stories of different individuals in their health, in their bodies, in their lives all over. So we are OPTAVIA certified health coaches. We've been coaching for about 3.5 years now, and we are excited to be with you.
It's going to be awesome. So a lot of you guys are you've maybe been invited tonight, and maybe a coach has invited you, a friend has invited you, and you're like, what are you inviting me to? What is this thing that you're inviting me to? Just so you know, we don't bite. We're not going to say anything weird. We're not going to be collecting any information from you or anything like that. But we do have an agenda. We want to be upfront about what we're going to be doing. It's going to be super awesome. So mindset, we're going to be awakened to the secrets of lifelong transformation. We're going to share some lifelong transformation skills and some people you're going to meet tonight. We're going to go over some skill sets. We're going to learn from people who've successfully created the results they've desired and how they did it.
That's right.
And then right at the end, we're going to share some simple action steps. It's going to be awesome of what you can do to move forward. So who is excited about that? Put a 1 in the chat if you're excited about that prospect. But you know what? There we go. Oh, look at that. Look at all those 1s. I love it. I love it, you guys. So moving on, we're going to do a poll. So if you are watching in Facebook, you won't be able to see this poll, but go ahead. And if you're in the Zoom room, but if you're in Facebook, go put it in the chat in Facebook. But
that's right. Answer it in the chat.
Which answer best describes you? Maybe you're a United States independent OPTAVIA coach. That's like us. Maybe you're a United States OPTAVIA client. Maybe you're a Hong Kong, Singapore independent OPTAVIA coach. Now, we welcome you guys watching. Put in the chat what time it is in Hong Kong or Singapore. I'd love to know. And then if you're a Hong Kong, Singapore OPTAVIA client, or maybe you're a guest, let us know who you are, where you're coming from. Just go ahead and...
Yeah, you can write it in the comments on the Facebook group so people can see your answers there. If you're in the Zoom, you can fill that out right here in the poll, and we will be able to see where you're coming from. But we welcome everybody who is here, and no matter where you're coming from. If you're a guest, welcome. We're excited to just share a little bit of our lives with you and give you some great information as well.
So we want to kick it off, and our co-founder is not with us tonight, but I'm going to try and do a good job explaining who our co-founder is. Here he is, Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson with his beautiful daughters there, and there he is in his lab jacket as well. But Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson is the co-founder of OPTAVIA. And here is just a short, very short list of his amazing accomplishments. First of all, valedictorian of medical class, open heart surgery at Cleveland Clinic, 10th board certified critical care physician, surgical critical care director, Grandview, and department chair of anesthesiology for 18 years. Now, Dr. A created this program really with a heart to help people. He was working in the hospital world and really was in a reactive mode to health. He reacted, and he was part of the system that reacted to health in our country. He really was not satisfied with that and really wanted to create a system that was getting ahead of the curve, being proactive in our health, and has created an amazing system, which we're going to talk about tonight. It's going to be in tonight's presentation. You're going to hear from people who have used, we are benefactors of that.
Absolutely.
So we thank, who's thankful for Dr. Anderson? If you know who Dr. Anderson is, go ahead and put that in the chat.
Yeah.
But we are so thankful for Dr. Wayne Anderson.
Yeah, we call him Dr. A for short. So if you've heard Dr. A, that's who he is. But these are some of the stats that are really eye-opening for us when it comes to where we are in our health as a country. Worldwide obesity has nearly tripled since 1975. Most of the world's population live in countries where overweight and obesity kills more people than underweight. Even in America, statistics in regards to finances, almost a third of adults with partners, 31%, report that money is a major source of conflict in their relationship.
Hang on a minute, Deborah. We're talking about money tonight? I thought we were just talking about health.
We're talking about financial health as well.
Okay, so money has an effect on our health.
It really, really does. And then it also says here, 69% of workers are stressed over their finances, with fully 72% admitting to worrying about their personal finances at work. And guys, let me tell you, 2020 has not helped that. It has been a wild year, and I'm sure those stats are going up even as we speak. The great thing about what we provide here at OPTAVIA is we have a program that hits 4 components that really gives you lifelong transformation. And those 4 components are almost like 4 legs on a table. It keeps you steady and it keeps you secure. The first leg, or the first component, is that we have independent OPTAVIA coaches that are there to help you and cheerlead you and walk you through your journey. We also have a system called the Habits of Health Transformational System that Dr. A has written, and it is incredible. And that really does walk you through not just a healthy body, but a healthy mind. We also have the OPTAVIA community. This right here tonight is part of that OPTAVIA community. And we need community. It is better for us to do life with people. We are better together. And so this OPTAVIA community is like nothing else you will ever experience.
Real quick, Deborah, so many people have joined our community because they saw from the outside, they're kind of sneaking in, like, what is going on over there in OPTAVIA? And they're with us. Who, put in the chat, if you have joined us in the last 6 to 8 months, welcome to OPTAVIA. And I bet you love what's going on here, right? Yes, see all these yeses in the chat. You've joined because you saw something, and this is the community.
That's totally true. And that last component is OPTAVIA Fuelings. We have a way to fuel our bodies in the right way and to get it back into health. And it's a beautiful thing. So those 4 components really are what we provide as OPTAVIA for those around us. We also talk about, and as coaches, you may have heard this, if you're new, the Trilogy Wheel. And we believe in overall health. It's not just one area. It really has to do with every part of your body and your life. And so we have a trilogy, which means healthy body, healthy mind, and healthy finances. When you look at this wheel, take a look at it. And obviously, the outer rims are a little bit lower in numbers, where the middle is at a 10. We would love you to look at your life in these different areas, this pie chart, and be able to say, where am I? Where do I fit in these numbers? And really rate yourself to figure out, am I doing really well? Or maybe I'm at a 2. I'm not doing well in these areas.
You know what I love about the Trilogy? This is one of my favorite things at OPTAVIA is that we're not a weight loss company. A lot of you realize that when you come in. A lot of you come in wanting to lose a few pounds, but really we work most of the time on your sleep, on your eating, on your weight, on your physical activity, your relaxation, your spiritual time, your community involvement. We care about those things because that is overall health. And so take a look at that and see if there's something you can identify tonight as we're talking, that maybe a speaker that comes on tonight is going to say one thing, is going to say a nugget that's going to stick out to you. And it might be something to do with maybe you need to have more fun and more hobbies to be a more healthy person.
Absolutely. We have the structure for that. And it's just a great way to figure out where you are in your health and see where that is. And we know that every part affects the next. And it really is true that you have to find health in every area.
Exactly. So it is with our pleasure. Enough talking from us, Deborah.
Okay.
We're super excited to bring on our first guest. I cannot wait to bring these people on. They are all the way from Corpus Christi. I don't know how they say it there, but that's how I say it. Corpus Christi in Texas. And I just want to share a quick slide of them because this transformation will blow your mind. Get ready for this, you guys. It is crazy. I want to welcome Grace and David Davila. Look at this picture here, and I'm going to let them tell the story, but these guys are wonderful people. Welcome, Grace and David.
Well, Daniel, thank you for that introduction, and it is Corpus Christi, but I did like your Corpus Christi, so that was pretty good. But thank you for the honor to get to share tonight, and looking at that picture, it's just so humbling to see the change that has taken place in both of our lives. And I guess I was looking at that and I was like, man, where do I start? And I guess the best place to start is the beginning. And so looking at kind of my life in an overview, I was pretty much obese, overweight, whatever term you want to call it. I tend to hate that term obese, but let's just call it what it is. The doctor used to call it that, everybody said you're obese. So let's call it that. So pretty much my whole life, I grew up the big kid in a Hispanic family in South Texas. I struggled with a lot of things that come along with rice and beans as your vegetable for the night. And so it took me many years to figure out that rice and beans were not a vegetable, just because I was so used to that as a side dish. But I remember as a kid having to shop in the Husky section. And how many of you, drop in the chat, drop a 1 in the chat, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on Zoom tonight, drop a 1 in the chat if you ever shopped in the Husky section. Because man, I remember how much that scarred me. And the chat is blowing up, guys. If you're not looking at the chat right now, it is blowing up with 1s. And I remember what that did to me when I was shopping in the Husky section all the time. And I just kind of remember that label. And it really built up a lot of insecurities within me. Things that really I carried from my youth to adulthood. And so going into my adult years, I lived a pretty wild lifestyle. Working in the oil and gas industry, it was pretty wild. Lots of traveling, lots of, on the road time. And so finally that lifestyle kind of started to catch up with me in my 30s. I carried that all through, like I said, through my 20s, just bad habit after bad habit after bad habit. And so as I got into my 30s, I started to get some bad reports from the doctors about my health. And those reports where they say, like, if you don't make some changes, you're probably not going to live very long. And then you kind of leave feeling like, well, where do I go from here? What do I do now? You get that kind of, hey, you need to lose weight, but they really don't tell you what to do. And so I remember leaving those visits and knowing I needed to make a change. I needed to change something, but I wasn't ever really sure what to do. And then I would just put my health on the back burner again and kind of focus on other things in life. And I'm sure there's many of you tonight that can say, hey, I'm doing the same thing, or I've done the same thing. And so really looking at kind of, we're on a health and hope night tonight. And so I always go to that keyword, hope. When was the moment that I found hope? And for me, it was it started in March of 2018 when our daughter was born. And I began to really focus on some new things, and kids will do that to you. And I remember thinking, like, if I stay on this track, I'm not going to live to watch her grow up. I'm not going to live to walk her down the aisle. And so I wanted to be an active father in her life. I wanted to watch her grow up. I wanted to be active in her life. And I knew that that wasn't going to happen unless I made a change. So I remember praying many times for a solution. And I remember it was a deep desire in my heart. And I'm sure many of you have prayed those prayers. Like, I just want something to work. I just want a change. And so I remember praying that. And it just so happens I saw our pastors at church, and they told me about this program and how they had lost 60 pounds. And so I remember just saying, well, I'll check it out and see kind of where we go from here. So I set my first goal at, I want to lose 50 pounds. And I remember, thinking, like, I'm over 300. If I can just get under 50, I'm going to be great. If I can just get 50 pounds down, I'm going to be great. And I lost the 50 pounds. And I remember taking a picture with a chicken sack, a sack of chicken feed, because that's a Texas thing. And I remember taking that picture and posting it on Facebook, and people started to notice. And they started asking me what I was doing. And I remember them saying, hey, what's the secret? See, because I had lost the first 50 pounds in secret. I was scared to tell anyone what I was doing, because I've failed so many times. And so this time was different. I had my coach cheering me on. I had my OPTAVIA community for support. I had my feelings that made it easy while I was just on the go all the time. And I started doing the mind work with the Habits of Health system. And that was the big change this time. That was what was different. And it was at that moment I started helping my friends with their health as well. And that was the push I needed to not only move towards my goals, but to set new goals. And I ended up going on to lose 127 pounds. And so my life has just been completely changed. And not only did it change my life, but it changed my wife's life. So Grace, would you share that tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, y'all. My name is Grace. And I was kind of the opposite of David for my entire life. I've always been really small, petite. I was always skinny. I was one of those unhealthy, skinny people. David always likes to say, just because someone's skinny doesn't mean they're healthy. And that was me. I had really bad eating habits. I remember in college, put a 1 in the chat if you had really bad eating habits in college, because it'll get you. I lived off of Red Bull, fast food, and Hot Pockets in college. And that led obviously to really poor sleep. I never slept through the night. I never felt rested when I did sleep at all. I had a lot of really bad indigestion. I had really bad blood sugar dips, highs and lows throughout the day. I had just a lot of just really negative side effects from a really unhealthy lifestyle overall. And I always kind of thought that like my indigestion and my blood sugar dips were just part of being skinny, having a fast metabolism. People are like, oh, you have a fast metabolism, so that's why you have all these, dips and feeling bad all the time. I just thought that was part of my genetic makeup. That's who I am. That's how it's going to be. So I remember trying to go out to eat, and I would literally sit down to eat and immediately have to go to the bathroom, or sitting at a restaurant frantically scanning the room looking for that. So anyways, like David said, our journey started after I had our daughter, and he did program first. I'd had a really unhealthy pregnancy. I gained 70 pounds. I ended up on bed rest with high blood pressure. I had to get induced early. And so once I saw David have success with the program, I decided, you know what, I'm going to get on plan and I'm going to try this. I actually lost 23 pounds and I felt amazing and I had energy, and the indigestion, all of a sudden I didn't feel bad. I didn't have to make a million trips to the bathroom. And what I loved is the program was so easy. And as a new mom, I really needed that. I needed that structure. I didn't have those blood sugar dips throughout the day. And I mean, your life as a mom is crazy, especially a new mom. So that just really brought me so much peace. And I was just so surprised at how changing how I nourish my body just made such a difference in my whole entire life. So it's really just, it's been a blessing finding OPTAVIA. It's been a blessing for us individually. It's just been an all-around blessing. And now we have the tools and structure that we need to be able to create that healthy lifestyle for our family.
Yes, we do. So thank you, Dr. A. Thank you, OPTAVIA, for leading the way for people like us to find freedom in our health. Deborah and Daniel, back to y'all. Wow.
Love what you said, Grace, about nourishing your body. And I just want to real fast touch on a little bit about our program and the nutrition side of our program that they mentioned. This is how they were able to, everyone tonight was able to lose some weight. And so I'm just going to touch on this real fast before we go to our next guest. But we have something called the Optimal Weight 5-in-1 Plan. I love this plan. It works.
It does.
It's awesome. And just to point out, this thing on the right-hand side is 24 hours in a day. If you have not noticed, that is our logo. That is where our logo comes from. We get to, so number one, we choose 5 convenient meals. We call them fuelings at OPTAVIA because we believe in fueling our body. We use them during the day. We prepare 1 lean and green meal ourselves, which I love cooking lean and green meals. They are my favorite. Put in the chat your favorite lean and green meal. And then number 3, we use the Habits of Health clock. So every 2 to 3 hours, we get to fuel our body. We keep that low glycemic energy going and we keep our blood sugars level, and it is awesome and it works, you guys. And these testimonies is because of doing the 5-in-1. So we're so excited about this program.
The plan really does work in how you fuel your body, and it changes the way you do that. I'm so excited to introduce the next couple. Grace, we were born babies together. Her mom was my first nurse, and grew up, and then kind of as time goes on, we moved away from each other and found each other back on Facebook years later as she and I chose to get healthy together, and got to meet her new husband, Jeremy, at the time, and introduced to her kids, and it's been a wonderful journey. But I cannot wait for them to share their story of transformation. So here is Jeremy and Grace Albright.
Good evening. Thank you so much. What an honor it is to talk with you guys for a few minutes about a little bit about the transformation that happened to me and happened to my husband, Jeremy. I am Grace. This is my husband, Jeremy. As I just said, we came from, well, let me just tell you my side. I came from a very dark place when I reconnected with Deborah. I had just moved from the most beautiful state. Let me get a hello from Colorado. Moved from Denver all the way to Iowa. I love the people of Iowa, but Iowa was hard, guys. Iowa was cold, and Jeremy moved me to Iowa in the dead of winter. We're talking like the 6th of December. Welcome to Iowa. Bitter cold. I think it was probably 10 degrees starting when we got there.
It was cold.
It was hard. I was discouraged. I was in a place mentally that I have never really been. From happy, love my family. I have 5 children, incredible children. I love every single one of them, but they're busy. And every mama knows that kids are busy. Doesn't matter the age. It's just a different stage, right? So I had a busy family, had an incredible life, but I was discouraged. I was down. And in that process of that winter, I gained a beautiful, fluffy 30 pounds that not only was visible, but it was physical inside and outside. And what I mean by that is something happened in my mind that was not who I was. I was somebody that can look at good and see good in a lot of things. And for some reason, I was really struggling to do this. And that's what reconnected me to my dear friend, Deborah. I've watched her on Facebook, and let me tell you, this is one thing that is so powerful about our community is most likely you are going to reach out to somebody that you know. And if you don't know them, you're going to know them really quick. And you're going to know the friend that referred you. This is the power of the community that we're talking about. And this is what pretty much took me from a really dark place and helped me with the tools to get out of that. And what I mean by that is we started taking something called the Life Book, and we started getting into it and integrating our life. I started the program called the 5-in-1 program. When I jumped on that, I also became a coach. I knew that this was the key, and I knew that I had a lot of people that I needed to help as well. So I jumped on a couple months. I was able to lose that 30 pounds, and in that, I gained freedom in my mind. And I obviously, you know that life still hits us on all sides, and let me tell you, the storms that we have faced over the last couple years have still come. Does it still come with discouragement and mountains to climb and obstacles to face? Absolutely. But when you start putting into practice the tools that Dr. A so incredibly designed for us, and I don't mean just him, but all of his people that were incorporated into this program, when I started integrating myself and taking that, my responsibility, it was my responsibility to learn that. It gave me the power to basically step out of the drama, out of it, and say that I don't need it. That's not what's going to lead me to success. So yes, the weight went off, but I wish you could see the weight that came off in my mind. And with that, I want to introduce to you my husband, who has also an incredible story, because let me tell you, I made sure that he got on program because he was gone almost 50% of our month. And when I say that, I mean that I was a part-time nurse, I was a full-time mom, and part-time single mom. And I knew he was struggling with the stress that he had. And so this was the key that helped us both succeed together. So Jeremy, take it from there.
Thanks, baby. I love your transformation story. Yes, my name is Jeremy. I'm honored to be here tonight. And I will start by saying this. You probably heard Grace say a second ago, but she made me do this. Like, I didn't have a choice. But a little bit of backstory here. I was a few weeks ahead of my 40th birthday. She made me go to get a physical. You'll see a trend here pretty quickly develop. But I was in my physical, and the doctor, just like kind of David was sharing, he was going over my lab work, and he was like, he knew my family history, and he's like, dude, you're on the path to death. And like Grace said, I was so busy, it didn't even register with me, quite honestly. I was like, hey, I had an hour off from work. I need to get back. I know I have meetings. I'm probably, getting ready to go fly somewhere, who knows what. And so it didn't sink in. And my other background is I come from a competitive triathlon kind of a world. So I just kind of figured, yeah, he told me to lose some weight, do whatever. I'll just go run it off. I can do that, and I'll be fine. I'll figure it out, and blah, blah, blah. So I get home, and of course, Grace is all up over me. What are you doing? How do y'all go? I told her, and she's like, well, you're doing this. And I was like, okay, whatever. And really and truly, that was my attitude, was whatever. And, she mentioned she was coaching, and I was her first client. But no, it was a cool thing to do together, because again, I started with that kind of whatever attitude. Well, as I got into 5-in-1, I honored my wife. I said, we're going to do it. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it all the way. We're going to go hardcore, and we're going to do it together. We're going to keep each other accountable. And next thing you know, the 38 pants go down to a 36, to a 34, to a 32, and you start to wonder,
it's working.
There might actually be something to this thing. But more so than that 40 pounds in a little about 3 months, that was cool. But the cool thing I wasn't really expecting was the mental clarity, the sleep I was getting, the quality of sleep I was getting. Even while my schedule maintained its busyness, my stress levels were, more or less under control. And I was happy. We had smiles on our face, and so there's a lot more to it. And another thing I found through this, and we've talked a lot about, you've heard the community word. I didn't really pay much attention to that at first. I was like, okay, great. There's a bunch of people. We have our own little group, a Facebook group. We have our coach, it's all well and good. But the more I got engaged with the community, the more I found how like-minded we all are. We all have very similar stories or struggles, and we can help each other and support each other. And I know that she's got my back, and I've got hers, and I know Deborah and Daniel have mine, and Grace and David have mine, and we like each other. And there's this community it becomes a family.
All over the United States.
Absolutely. It's crazy. And I didn't even know I needed it. And I just, the benefit of that, to know that there's people that are rooting for you. Like, I could get up and make a comment, or I could join a group like this on a Wednesday night, or even better, go to someplace live, back when we could do those kind of things, and just be filled up with just so much goodness. And just, especially as you get to hear from Dr. A, like, his passion is there's nothing else I would dare say more contagious on this planet than that. And so just all those things that you heard Daniel say at the very, very beginning, like, this is so much more than just a weight loss company. Like, we really, truly believe and we live the healthy body, the healthy mind. That's been probably the biggest change in us. And then the healthy finances as we continue to coach. And now we get to help thousands of people go and start their health journey and journey towards health. So it's absolutely amazing. And it's just, like, I don't know what else to say. Like, we were just completely blown away by the change in our own lives. So
yeah, it's a community that you'll never, I don't know. For us, it was a lifesaver for sure. But most important, it was the challenge that we needed to step up and to make the difference in our life. Yeah. So I think it did that.
It did. So baby, thank you for making me do it. Deborah and Daniel, thank you for saying yes to your health. And Dr. A, thank you so much for creating this program.
Yes,
back to you guys.
Thank you.
Wow, you guys, incredible. I love it. I love seeing the transformation that happens. And as Grace and Jeremy talked, if you are wondering, what does OPTAVIA provide, for us, resources for a healthy mind, I want to share with you a few things. We have an incredible system, the Habits Health Transformational System. It includes the life book that you can read through. It goes through all of our elements. It has a journaling area. You can write out things. It's beautifully done. We also have an app that you can use on your phone to track a lot of things within your life at this season. And then we have the Dr. A's Habits of Health book. And that is incredible. I really feel like it's the Bible to health when it comes down to it. It's an incredible resource for you. Our community is like none other. We could go on and on, but OPTAVIA community, we really do provide a lot of things. We provide a virtual community events, kind of like we're doing tonight.
Right now.
We have the Habits of Health community time together on Wednesday nights, nutrition support team to help you with your questions and areas of need, client support pages, as well as the OPTAVIA Facebook page. Lots of areas that can help you within our community.
Exactly. So it is time. We're going to break this thing up a little bit. Who's ready for a poll? You guys ready for a poll? You guys watching on Facebook, you won't see the poll, but go ahead, put it in the chat. Question is, how often do you typically connect with your coach?
It's a good one.
First answer is 1 or 2 times a week, every other week, 1 to 2 times a month, as needed. I'm a guest and I want to learn more. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to put my answer down as well. But we'll get those answers for you in a second. But super excited. I love these polls because we get to see what you guys are thinking. There's thousands of you on, and we're going to see those results here in a moment. But just, guys, I want to talk to you clients watching for a second. You may have been on program a week. You may have been on a year, 2 years. There's something that's going to happen.
Right. It's guaranteed.
It's not guaranteed. There's something that's going to happen if you do the work, okay? People will notice. They're not going to notice how you talk or your accent. They're going to notice what you look like, and they're going to ask you. It's a very natural thing to ask you about your transformation. So the first thing you can do is refer them to your coach. The best thing you can do, honestly, I didn't put this on the screen, but do a 3-way text message saying, hey, here's my coach. Here's Carol. Meet my coach. She's awesome. She'll take it from here. That's the nicest thing you can do for your coach. The second thing that we're going to talk about is you can pay it forward.
Pay it forward. And
sometimes, you know what, hang on a minute. You can pay it forward right away if you wanted to. And I just want to let you know, if you've just started your transformation journey, you do not have to wait until you've lost all your weight. I didn't. And this is the one key that's helped me stay in the game, is paying it forward. So let's see if we can see those results for the poll. Are they there?
Oh, here we
go. All right, so exciting. Okay, so how often do you typically connect with your coach? 1 to 2 times a week. 70% of you, 1 to 2 times a week. Every other week is 6%. 1 to 2 times a month is 4%. As needed, 13%. And then 6% of you, I'm a guest, I'm excited to learn more. That's awesome. And we encourage you to reach out to the person who invited you, and we'll give you those instructions, but to learn more. All right, it is with great pleasure. We're going to go, honestly, like 2 blocks away. We went to Corpus Christi. We went to Arizona. We're going probably a block away to our wonderful neighbors, clients of ours, coaches of ours, Michael and Brenda Miller. Are you there?
Hey,
Hi,
Daniel and
everyone.
Deborah, we're here. How's everyone doing? I'm Michael Miller.
And I'm Brenda Miller, and although we're in Northern California, we're originally from Yonkers, New York, and Minneapolis, Minnesota, but we followed the sun west, and so we live on the West Coast now.
Got to hear it for the East Coasters and the Midwest folks, right?
That's right. So thanks for allowing us to share our story tonight. We're honored to be here.
Yes, we are. And you know, when you start talking about our story, you got to go back a few years, at least as far as 2018, 2019 timeframe. 2018, because both of us traveled for work, we were at our highest weight, frankly, and you know, we overindulged without restraint for far too long, right? And then I got to a point where I said, I got to do something, and I hired a trainer. You weren't quite ready yet, but hiring that trainer, went to the gym, and she was good. Credit to her, she was good, but we weren't in the headspace to start doing the things and incorporating the things that she was encouraging us to do, especially when it came to nutrition. So we got stronger and increased our endurance, but the things that we needed to do, we weren't doing. So there were still layers of, you know, honestly, fat and inflammation.
Yes, and we kind of had gotten to the point where, okay, enough is enough.
Yeah.
You know, you got winded trying to tie your shoes, and there was one time I bent down to pick something up, and all of a sudden I wasn't so sure that my legs were going to be able to push me back up, and that scared me.
Yeah.
You know, and you weren't aware of this, but I was really kind of having some self-defeating thoughts. I was kind of had this feeling like I was always going to be the curly-haired, chubby girl over, you know, over there. Or that's how I felt like people were describing me. They never said that, but that's what I was thinking. That and I despised going shopping for clothes because I always felt like I had to, you know, cover my tummy area and kind of, you know, hide
Nothing
that,
fit.
but even though it wasn't really hidden, but just was uncomfortable.
Yeah, nothing fit. And you know, just got to a point where after watching our coaches around the neighborhood, at church, online for a couple of years, Brenda prevailed. My bride just said, hey, call them. And we finally, you know, reached out and had a conversation and said yes to getting on track with our health. And here we are a year and a half later, and I'm down 101 pounds, Mrs. Miller.
And I'm down 80 pounds.
Woo-hoo! I love it.
So good.
Love it. And, you know, yeah, we feel great in our bodies. We're able to do things that we weren't able to do because we aren't winded anymore.
No.
Hiking, biking, kayaking, running.
Yes.
Go figure.
Yeah. And for us, it really feels like it was the simplest thing we'd ever done to get healthy.
Yeah.
Now, there's work involved, don't get me wrong, but it's simple. You know, the way our program's structured, it's very easy to follow. There's a routine, and really it's set up for success.
Yeah.
So, but a few weeks into our journey, so we were on our journey, a few weeks in, we began to see the opportunity for coaching, or I did. And, you know, we were experiencing great success in our health. I realized that coaching could enable me to transition from my full-time successful consulting career of 16 years in the financial planning industry. Like some of the other stories, I had been traveling around the US for about 5 to 7 years, 2/3 out of the year, 10 to 12-hour days, weeks at a time, high stress. It really took a toll on my health and my time away from the family.
You're going a lot.
I was gone a lot. And we had poor eating habits had developed. Flight layovers involved French fries and wine, you know, the sugar and salt. Hey, I deserved it. I was tired. I had had a long, stressful week. You know, that was kind of my little fix. I needed something. Day 2 of coaching.
The awakening.
The awakening happened. Yeah, I realized that this coaching was an answer to prayer. And I was in tears. I was just so excited, you know, and now we're building a coaching business together. So, which is awesome. I'm honored to serve my clients now and help them achieve their goals. And, you know, this gift of coaching just oozes with passion and purpose. And it's just so rewarding.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, it's so rewarding to help our clients. I've got a 39-year-old client who has shed 100 pounds now and is now able to play catch with his 3 young sons and hang out with his wife and have fun and play with them. So think about it. Not only is it, you know, rewarding, but it's also legacy building because now he's also coaching too. So it's, you know, we're paying it forward to our clients and they're paying it forward to their friends and family also. So there's time freedom.
Yeah, I love
my
that.
work schedule, yes, has opened up. I can work anywhere, anytime, anyhow. I can travel on my own terms, wherever and whenever I want, and I get to be home more.
Which is good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Especially now,
right?
working from home, right?
Yeah, and so similar to the health program, in coaching, you have to do the work. So there's work involved,
Yep.
but it comes with routine and structure and collaboration with a community of coaches. So you're never on your own. You always have a team of people cheering you on and helping you. So tonight you've kind of been hearing about freedom in body and mind and finances.
Yeah.
And, you know, with coaching, you also get to be the CEO of your own business.
That's pretty
So
cool.
that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And there's opportunity for anyone who wants to do the work and help change the future of those around them. So based on the work that we've done and the goals that we've set, I'm amazed at the fact that I've been able to replace my well-paid consulting income since I've been coaching. And I also have an extra layer of accountability for our own health journey.
Which
so
is
that's
so
fun.
important.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's good too.
So, you know, got to say it. Kudos, Dr. A. Thank you. We're so grateful. This program has been amazing. Daniel and Deborah, thank you for just role modeling and living out loud and sharing the gift with us. We appreciate you.
Yeah. And, you know, as everybody's saying tonight, you know, if this resonates with you, reach out to the person who invited you and let's get going.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Are you guys ready to do this? Oh, you're already doing it. You're already doing it. I'm so excited about that.
Oh my goodness, looking at you guys, even looking at your pictures, you look 20 years younger. I can't even believe it. And we remember the Michael and Brenda that sat in our living room and talked about health and just seeing that transformation. There's nothing like it to watch them walk, not only in health in their bodies, but also in their minds and now in their finances as well. It's a pretty incredible thing. So many of you are wondering, as they talked about coaching, what are the benefits to
There's
coaching?
benefits to coaching?
Benefits to being an independent
Oh, there's benefits.
OPTAVIA
Oh, we should
coach.
probably cover the benefits.
Okay, so one of the things is it reinforces your decision to be healthy. The Millers talked about it. We've
That's me
talked
right
about
here.
it. Guys, it's built-in accountability for you. If you need that accountability, if you feel like you need that extra layer of support, this is the way to do it. It's the way to connect with people and walk that journey together. The benefit is to pay it forward and make a difference. How many of you want a purpose? You know it's bigger than just you, that purpose, to help people and make a difference. And it's something so rewarding with that. It is fun. And as I said, rewarding. We are having a blast.
A blast.
We're having
right
a great
now.
time
right
doing
now, we're having
this.
a blast.
The compensation is incredible. The currency of goodwill and the fulfilling of financial needs and goals that you may have. We have the ability to do that even in this season of 2020 as well.
You know what? You say 2020, that currency of goodwill, that right now, that's the nugget I'm taking home tonight. Because 2020 has been a crazy year for most of the world. I would say, albeit all of the world. And I just want to let you know that this community is kind of it's like a haven of just goodwill. I mean, being a part of this has made 2020 not as bad, honestly, just being real, for a lot of our friends. And so we are so grateful to have this community and be in this safe haven, this goodwill community. So,
and you know what else it does? It really creates a legacy. It creates a legacy not just for you, but your children and those around you. We look at our friends that we get to do life with. This is beautiful legacy that's happening, and we're leaving that for those around us, which is really exciting.
So real fast, if you're a client or maybe a guest and you're like, what are they talking about this coaching? There's basically 3 levels of coaching. The first one, super simple. You're an OPTAVIA coach. You're going to be helping clients. You're going to help them with their program. You heard about the 5-in-1. Maybe you're going to help them with that program. You're going to assist them in getting healthy in all areas of their life and their mind and in their body and in their habits and their sleep and their water intake and all of those things. You're going to be helping clients. The next level is a business coach. You'll do all of those things as well. You're going to be supporting clients. You're going to start duplicating, and you're going to help someone else who goes, you know what? I want to pay this gift forward. So then you're going to help that person create a business for themselves and their people. That's what a business coach does. Then a business leader does all of those things and then creates teams of business coaches. And that's what we do. Deborah and I get to do all day long, and we absolutely love it. And talking about us.
Yeah.
Here we are. And we are so excited to share our story real briefly. This picture on the left is me, and I had about 100 pounds to lose, and this was about 4 years ago, and I'm down about 92 pounds. And it has been an amazing journey. The picture of me on the left there, I was tired, I was fed up. I came from working in the auto industry, running car dealerships. It's nothing fancy, just fancy cars. And it was an amazing time. I loved my life, okay? I just want to say we have a great life.
Right.
I had a great life. There's the one area of my life I could not get under control. Is everything else was fine, successful at work, great marriage, great kids, great friends, great church, all of it. There's the one area. Who relates to me on that? The one area they just could not get a hold of was my area in health. And so I jumped on program, and a little reluctantly, like whatever, I'd done everything else. I'd done all the diets. I'd done the yo-yos. I'd probably lost 100 pounds up and down 5 or 6 times in the last 10 years. And I was able to, I'm down now 92 pounds. And so I was thinking about this presentation. I have not ever shared this. We've been coaching now for 3.5 years. Thank you. I've never shared this story. I was at a theme park here in California, and I was lining up, and you know how on a hot summer's day is like 1 or 2 hour wait. I was with my brother-in-law. We'd get to the front line, and we get to the front of the line, and the train, the roller coaster comes up, and I get on, and I couldn't get the harness over. It wouldn't buckle in. I was too big for the harness. And they politely said, hey, you know what, so you're actually gonna have to wait. There's another car, which is for the bigger people, XL size. And that's coming right now. So I had to kind of like walk away. Sorry, Ben, let's come along with me. We had to wait for the next. They didn't send me to the back of the line. You know how humiliating that was? But I needed that to wake up. I needed something to wake up. And someone said I look younger now. Yes, I probably look 10 years younger. But there's no disclaimer on that one, sorry. But there are a lot of benefits to this program. And then I want to thank Deborah for really, like Jeremy and Grace said, we did it together, and she's one of the keys to my success.
Yeah, I mean, as a spouse, I don't know if anyone can relate to watching your spouse struggle with their weight and doing everything, trying everything. You know, we didn't try everything that came out. We tried, and at one point, even getting to the point of going, well, maybe this is just how we're going to be. We're just going to be at this place forever. And I was concerned. My husband was in his early 30s, and I knew that we had a long road ahead of us. And, you know, for my own journey, I was kind of like Grace. I did not battle my weight until my 30s, 3 kids in 4 years, and lived to tell about it. And I got at my heaviest at about 38. And I remember my mom starting to complain about her weight at 40. And she would say, you're going to gain weight and not be able to lose it. And here I was at 38 years old, realizing that I was stuck and I didn't know what I could do to lose the weight. And when we found OPTAVIA, it was the game changer for us. It was the first thing we really did together as a couple. And, you know, it was amazing because that transformation hit us, and it happens pretty quickly. You begin to, you know, get into a fat burn, and your brain begins to clear, and life, you know, you just begin to go after that. But what happened more for us is we got our youth back. We got our life back. We had more energy. We had more time to spend with the kids. And it was a beautiful transformation. And, you know, through that period of time, we decided to pay it forward and to help others do the same. And the amazing part too is, you know, the biggest thing that we struggled with in our life is actually the thing that we use to fuel us to help those around us. And the thing that was embarrassing, the thing that we didn't want to tell anybody about, even though it showed everywhere we went, we felt like that thing is used as a tool for us to help those around us. And it has been a beautiful journey of restoration for us. And we get to help get the world healthy, and we get to bring hope. We call ourselves agents of hope because we get to bring hope to those around us.
We love what we do and the freedom that it brings. And you've heard a lot of freedom. And so we just encourage you. There's some action steps tonight that we want to share with you, because when you hear something this amazing, we're giving you a gift right now, and you're opening it. And so it's your responsibility. Now you have that gift. You get to open it. You can give it back. You can put it back under the tree. You can say, no, not for me. That's okay. But you open it. Now you have something. And so work with the person who invited you to figure it out. Okay, we're not going to give you all the hows of how it all works until because we'll be here till midnight. And you don't trust me. You don't want to listen to me till midnight. But there are some action steps. So here is the action step, real fast. Reach out to the person who invited you. Just said it. Make the decision to incorporate the Trilogy of Optimal Health. Even if you decide you don't need to lose any weight, that's okay. Maybe you need a healthy mind. Maybe you need that community that Grace and Jeremy were talking about. Maybe you need some education. Maybe you've tried everything. Maybe it's time to actually educate yourself with Dr. A's material and figure out, I think that could be really beneficial for you. Just jump into all that OPTAVIA has, and hopefully we've opened your eyes a little bit. The OPTAVIA is not just a weight loss company. It is an optimal health company. We have so much to offer you. Another poll. Last poll, guys. I love these polls. All right.
Here we
Which
go.
area of the trilogy and optimal health would you like to improve? Now, you can pick as all three if you want. So you have healthy body, healthy mind, healthy finances. You can do all three, one of them, two of them, whatever you like.
Please write it in the comment section on Facebook too. We'll take a look at those as well. Healthy body, healthy mind, healthy finances, or 1, 2, or 3, all of them.
Yeah, exactly. So we're wrapping up here. Don't forget those action steps. We're super excited to hear feedback from tonight. Get with the person who invited you. I know, Deborah, you're going to go over this.
Yeah,
right?
so what is next for you? Well, we have some amazing things provided for you. One of them is that we have a recording coming on next week with our weekly presentation. It is recorded because it's Thanksgiving week, and so we will not be live. But it's going to be featuring our life book, Element 24, which talks about your journey to higher consciousness. And that is hosted by OPTAVIA coach David Bush, and he'll be on there to do that. But if you want more information or you're wanting to hear more, please stay tuned for that next week. Reach out to your coach. We are so glad that you joined us tonight. We hope that you feel encouraged, you feel like you got the information you needed, and that even if there's that little nudge in your heart that you go, I think this would fit me. We want you to know there is room at the table for you, and we would love you to be a part of what we're doing here at OPTAVIA, and we're getting the world healthy.
Yeah, it is incredible. If you took a nugget away tonight, take that nugget to the person who invited you and say, tell me more about this nugget. I want to know more. I know we haven't been able to explain everything, but trust me, they're waiting to help you. And when the time is right, this is incredible. And so we're just so honored. Thank you, guests. Thank you for our guests from around the country. Thank you for joining us and giving us their testimonies. Thank you for joining us from around the world, Hong Kong, Singapore, America. Maybe you're watching from another country, and that's amazing too. But we are so honored to be able to present to you tonight. We love you, and we'll let you go. Good night.
Have a great night, you guys.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
At OPTAVIA, our mission is to offer the world lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. The prior audio contained the personal testimonials of independent coaches and clients within the OPTAVIA community. Their results are based on the unique experiences of their journey. We cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. We hope those stories inspire you to continue your journey with or to consider joining OPTAVIA. But please note that they have not been verified and your individual journey to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you speak with a healthcare provider in the U.S. or a doctor in Singapore and Hong Kong prior to beginning your journey with OPTAVIA. Additionally, this audio may have contained income or earning representations of some independent OPTAVIA coaches. We cannot guarantee financial success. Success with OPTAVIA is derived from successful sales efforts, which require hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. OPTAVIA acknowledges that this audio may be accessible to OPTAVIA coaches in the U.S., Hong Kong, and Singapore. For independent OPTAVIA coaches operating in the U.S., please see the OPTAVIA Income Disclosure Statement for statistics on actual earnings of U.S. coaches under the U.S. Compensation Plan. Please note that the Income Disclosure Statement only applies to independent OPTAVIA coaches operating in the U.S. under the U.S. Compensation Plan and does not in any way constitute any representations as to actual or potential accrual of benefits for Hong Kong or Singapore coaches under the International Compensation Plan. Yours in health, the OPTAVIA team.